What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back for another Tottenham update for you guys. The first day of pre-season. Nuno has taken his first pre-season session, and we have got some updates to bring you regarding transfers that will happen or won't happen.
Most likely won't happen.
Remains to be seen. But let's get into the first update, and this is from Ali Gold. It's actually a few days ago, which we never brought you. But he says that Spurs have been long admirers of AC Milan midfielder Franck Kessie. But Nuno Espirito Santo may want to evaluate his current midfield options. I mean, Kessie, we all know, he's had a stunning season at Milan this year. He's a midfielder that would really go some way, well, more than some way, to replace Musa Sissoko. And he's one that would really, I thought that would really benefit in coming in my opinion.
Sounds like we're getting prepared to get a new penalty taker. Because I know he takes his penalties for AC Milan. He had a stellar season. And look, he'd be a fantastic signing. He would be a brilliant signing in that central midfield, really shore things up. And I'm sure him and Højbjerg would develop a great partnership. I wouldn't say he's a massive priority right now, his kind of position. We have Højbjerg, we have Skip in the squad. So Kessie is kind of... I'm not saying, look, you always look for chances to upgrade your squad. I'm never going to complain, but I'm just saying Kessie right now, however good he is, which he is very, very good, he's not like a priority, I don't think, in the team. Well, so I'd like us to focus on other targets first, but if we get someone of the standard of Franck Kessie, I'd obviously be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, most definitely. Moving on, Fabrizio Romano was talking last night on his Twitch, and he said Tottenham have scouted Mikkel Damsgaard in recent months, but there are no offers or advance negotiations on the table. He went on to say that we have been scouting him for a number of years now, apparently.
And also, I don't know if you have it, the quotes from the Sampdoria, I think, chairman, saying
that it will take a big offer for him to come, for him to leave Sampdoria.
Exactly. So I think all chairmen say that anyway, but because they want to start with a strong bargaining chip. But Damsgaard has obviously impressed massively at the Euros. They've been massively impressed with him. He looks like a real gem, and he's going to have a big future. But whether Spurs... I kind of feel like... I don't know his best position yet. Is it out on the left? Is it in the hole? He's quite a versatile player. He looks very tricky. But are Spurs really going to splash big money on a player that we don't know if we necessarily need right now in terms of the profile of player? Obviously, I do think we need a forward, but if he's a number 10, we have Lo Celso, we have Ndombele, we have Dele. Are we going to splash big money on Damsgaard when we have those three players there? If he's a left winger, we have Son right now. So are we going to splash big money on Damsgaard when we have those two players?
The thing is with our number 10 options, you mentioned Lo Celso, Dele, Ndombele. I mean, Ndombele and Lo Celso are not really natural number 10s, though, are they?
No, but they can both play there, can't they?
I mean, they can do a job there for sure, but are they natural number 10s? I mean,
I think Lo Celso can be.
Can be.
Yeah.
I mean, but are they actual number 10s that we're going to play there for a whole season without, like... Because I think Ndombele and Lo Celso play better deeper.
Well, I think Lo Celso, people would argue his best football was at Betis when he was playing as number 10. That's when he scored loads of goals and he was his most effective. So I think he definitely can play that role. For Ndombele, I think his best work has definitely been deeper. I agree with you there. But I think when we have three options there already, are we going to splash big money on someone who can play there as well? I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't really make sense to spend big money on him right now. For me.
What do you reckon big money for him is? Like, surely he doesn't go for more than like 30 million.
I guess if he's 30, he's 20 years old, so he definitely has a big future ahead of him. And if it's a kind of situation where you have to kind of snap him up now, otherwise he might go to somewhere else, then maybe it's worth exploring. But other than that, if it's going to be more than 40, 50, I don't see... Look, I see the point of it. I just don't see Spurs doing it. I just don't see Spurs splashing out big money on a player who we don't necessarily need.
And you don't really want like a Donny van den Beek situation where you bring him in and just don't ever play him.
Exactly, and it creates a bit of like he's unhappy, and then you're thinking, why have we brought this guy in anyway? And it creates a bad atmosphere.
Would he be an option for us?
Donny van den Beek? I like him. I think he's a good player. I like Donny van den Beek. I guess he would be an option. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess Man United signed him for 45 million. So are we going to spend that?
They're not going to be getting that back anytime soon with the amount of football he's playing. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to take a massive loss just yet.
All right, let's move on. Next one is from La Colina de Nervion, which is a Sevilla radio station, funnily enough.
Nice.
And they say Tottenham are set to make a £50 million offer for Sevilla centre-back Jules Koundé after Nuno Espirito Santo made the player his primary target. So a bit more positive news on that than we heard over the last couple of days, but I'm not buying it, to be honest. I'm really not buying it. I cannot see us spending 50 million on a centre-back. I wish we did.
To be honest,
wish we did.
If we are going to spend 50 million on him, it makes sense to get someone like Koundé, who's young, who's got a large resale.
For spending that much money.
Yeah, but I'm talking about from a hierarchy point of view, large sell-on potential, a young, can definitely grow a lot of promise. Already a France international, so I think if I'm trying to get into the mind of Daniel Levy, if I'm going to spend 50 million, I'm much more likely to spend it on Koundé than I am on Skriniar. So from that sense, it's more likely. But I don't think. First of all, I don't think 50 million gets him anyway. I think we'll probably have to spend a bit more than that. And secondly, yeah, I think when he's got Vestergaard and Anderson for a combined like 30 million there, or if he's got Koundé for 50, he's probably going to go for those two. That's probably where Levy sees it. So I'll believe it when I see it with Koundé. I don't believe anything right now surrounding that. I don't think we have the pull to get him in. He wants to be playing Champions League football as well, supposedly. So I don't know. I just don't think I think it's too good to be true to be getting Koundé in for Spurs.
Kind of agree with you on that one. Let's move on. Next one is from Correa de Bologna. And they say Tottenham will launch a new attack expected this week to secure the services of versatile defender Takahiro Tomiyasu. And that's followed on by the Daily Mail, who said that Tottenham have agreed personal terms with Tomiyasu. Fabio Paratici is especially keen to bring the Japanese international to Spurs. I mean, there's just new kind of updates with this guy every single day, and nothing ever seems to be getting that closer.
Yeah, which gets me a bit sceptical. Look, we've seen last summer with the whole Sancho debacle that just because you've got personal terms doesn't mean the deal's done just yet. Personal terms are kind of with a lot of players, that's the easy part. Is when you're dealing with the clubs, that could be the very difficult part. Especially
when Daniel Levy's involved.
Especially more, yeah, exactly. So I'm sure this one seems realistic that we're going to get it done. To be fair, I don't see shouldn't be too many stumbling blocks in the deal. But knowing Levy, a couple million, and that will be a massive stumbling block, and he will fight tooth and nail for those last few million. But he seemed, again, I think he wants to come to Spurs. It's a good step up for him, and I think for Spurs it makes sense.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting Romano, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, said that Arsenal are not interested as opposed to reports we brought the other day.
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday, that there definitely reports to kind of hurry Tottenham along with the deal. That's what I thought. So sounds like that.
Let's move on. AS Sport, a Spanish publication, say Tottenham have made the first steps to sign Miralem Pjanic after Barcelona told the player that he wouldn't be called back for pre-season. And also, this is kind of fits into the news where Barcelona need to offload players because their wage bill is just way too high. Apparently, it's literally at the max right now in terms of the La Liga ruling, which I never even knew there was a ruling for max wages.
Yes. Apparently, they need to offload 200 million euros off the wage bill. Otherwise, they can't have new signings into the squad. So they've had all these signings, Memphis Depay, and I can't remember who else off the top of my head, but I know he definitely was a new signing. Eric Garcia from Man City as well. And they can't actually register them yet until they offload a certain amount off the wage bill. That's why we've seen Trincao go to Wolves. We've seen today Firpo go to Leeds. Coutinho, they're desperate to get him off the wage bill because if he makes one more appearance for Barcelona, they owe about 40 million to Liverpool in a transfer fee. So they're desperate to get him off the wage bill for a very, very cheap price. And Miralem Pjanic seems to fall into that category as well.
Yeah, and I read a report, I don't know how true it is, but I read a report over the last 24 hours that they might even look to move Griezmann on because he's on massive wages. And obviously, yes, he's been all right for Barca, but he hasn't hit those heights that he was at Atletico.
Yeah, but it's difficult. They've let go of Suarez last summer. If they let go of Griezmann, who have they got? They'll have Ousmane Dembele, who's I think injured at the moment. Didn't he get a bad injury in the Euros? So he's going to be out for a bit. Obviously got Messi. Messi is Messi, but he's actually technically on a free right now. Is he still signed the contract?
They say it's pretty much done, but they're waiting for all this financial stuff to get out of the way so he can bring him back in. But
they got Memphis Depay.
Yeah.
They got Memphis Depay, but they all of a sudden they don't look that strong, like in terms of depth. So if they let go of Griezmann, I guess needs must in the sense that they need to lower the wage bill, but it's difficult to see them challenging again next season if they do let go of him. But then again, you've seen the likes of Pedri come through, and he's been absolutely brilliant, 18 years of age. And we all know that Barcelona's academy is probably the best in Europe or the world. So they could easily rely on young players coming through, like Messi, who came through as a young player, and maybe they give them a chance to flourish, and that could actually help them in the long term, because that's where they're that best team they had, wasn't it? Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Piqué. I know they signed from United, but he came through the ranks at Barcelona as well at a young age. So like that's where they were at their best, when they had all those players come through the academy. So maybe that's what they're thinking.
Do you think that if Griezmann does leave, that will alert Man City in terms of that striker role that they're going on there?
Potentially. Yeah, he'll fit in like a glove at Man City. And that could definitely be good news for Spurs if they go for Griezmann. Would he be cheaper than Kane? Probably. Probably be cheaper than Kane, because I feel like Griezmann's about, I think he's a year older, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's a year older than Kane. And I also feel like he's not going to have the longevity that Kane's going to have, because of just the style of play that's the way he plays. So I feel like he would be a bit cheaper than Kane. So maybe he could be a decent alternative.
I wouldn't put it past them getting Griezmann in this summer, then he's still going for Kane next summer.
Yeah, maybe. I think it would be different. Well, it depends how well he does, I guess. If he smashes it out, I don't see him going for Kane again. But if he has a bit of an indifferent season, I wouldn't be surprised. And also, Griezmann can play multiple positions as well, can't he?
Very, very true. Let's move on. Calcio Mercato says that Fabio Paratici is keen to bring Juventus midfielder Weston McKennie to Tottenham this summer. Conte wanted the American at Tottenham, had been appointed manager before Fabio Paratici, and Spurs remain on the front line if he is available, which is a massive, massive if. What's his situation at the moment? Is he a Schalke player, or is he a Juventus player right now?
I thought he was on loan last season at Juventus, and I'm pretty sure he signed permanently. I thought he signed permanently, but maybe I don't know what the clause in his contract is at the moment. It says the deal did become permanent, so I think he is a Juventus player right now.
So that's a dead in the water deal then already.
Yeah, I don't think unless they don't want him. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
He smashed it out last season, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had a really good season. I'm pretty sure in January I thought they made it permanent. So yeah, it says in March Juventus exercised their option, 18.5 million plus 6.5 in bonuses. So unless we're getting him on loan, I don't see how this makes any sort of sense.
I completely agree. Moving swiftly on then, Adrian Kajumba of the Daily Mail says Tottenham have held talks over a move for Southampton defender Yannick Vestergaard. Spurs are also the front runners to sign Vestergaard's 25 million international teammate Joachim Andersen from Lyon. Do you see a way that we get both of these players through the door?
Definitely, because if we don't want to stump up the cash for Koundé, we'll go for them two instead. I wouldn't be surprised if them two both come in.
50 million for both of them?
No, probably less. I would say, probably less than 50.
25 million for Andersen, and what you're saying about 15-20 million for
Vestergaard. And I reckon probably less than 25 for Andersen. I reckon about 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I reckon you can probably get them both for about 40. So that's how I probably see that situation at the moment.
Is that good enough?
Not really. Not to where we want to be.
Them two at the back, in a back three of Rodin, doesn't really fill you with much confidence.
I don't think it's not going to be awful. I'm not saying like...
It doesn't match up the top four.
I think it would be challenging for top six. I think it's decent if you want to be top six, but if you want to be top four, yeah, it's not good enough. You're challenging with the best teams in the country, and as good as these players you're signing are, which they're decent players. You've seen at the Euros how good Vestergaard's been. Although we haven't seen how good Andersen's been at these Euros, but we've seen how him lead the Fulham team, although to relegation, but he was decent. I don't think these are the players that you sign if you're looking to improve massively and go top four. I don't think Vestergaard right now. I think he's a bit better than Sanchez and Dyer. similar. He's probably a bit worse than Toby, I would say. But I don't think he's like that much better than Dyer and Sanchez, where he's going to revolutionise our defence. I don't think he's like a Van Dijk type signing. That's why I don't see him. I do think he'll come and settle in well. I'm sure he'll fit in at Tottenham, but I don't think he'll improve us massively.
How do you compare him to like an Eric Dyer or Davidson?
Yeah, I think I think he's better defender than Eric Dyer. He'll make less mistakes, although Dyer physically, I think, in terms of, although he's not the quickest, he's probably quicker than Vestergaard, which is probably saying much. Although Vestergaard is definitely dominant, a lot more dominant physically. He's a massive unit. He's 6'4", Yannick Vestergaard. He's a big guy. So he won't get. He'll definitely be massively dominant in the air, which is something we did struggle with last season, being bullied in the box, which definitely happened a couple of times.
How many goals did we concede from set pieces last year, man?
So he'll help with that. He will help with that. But in terms of playing a high line and things like that, he will struggle. He will get caught out. He's a weakness that teams will exploit. Unless you have some quicker centre backs around him, he will be someone always be somewhere where the teams will target.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, he has played in a high line for the last couple of seasons for Southampton. Yes, they do.
They've conceded a lot of goals, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They do get caught out quite a lot.
Just think about our game. He played with Bednarek at the back, and we ripped them apart.
Yeah, no, it's true. But let's move on. And this next one is Tottenham are finally going to make use of that Real Madrid partnership as
we sign who are we signing? Who again?
We're signing Real Madrid pre-season friendly. Tottenham have requested a pre-season friendly against Real Madrid this summer because of a clause included in Gareth Bale's transfer in 2013 that forces Real Madrid to play the friendly against them. We're forcing Real Madrid to play a friendly against
we're literally holding them hostage. It says in the contract, Calderon.
We've played them in a friendly since then, though, haven't we?
When do we last play them? We played them that picture we just showed. So that was when was that?
That was when Dele Alli was nutmegging Modric and Bale.
Exactly. So that makes sense. I don't know if that was part of the deal or not in terms of playing a preseason.
But this
friendly.
one will be.
This is part. We're going to finally make use of it. Exactly. But I don't know. Whatever. Great. Fantastic. What's it going to net us? A few £100,000, which...
You're joking. It's going to be like £60 a ticket.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So, what, they're going to sell out? I don't think so. What, is it going to be at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Or
most likely, yeah.
Cool. We're great for Levy, I guess. So he's finally making use of the special relationship we have with Real Madrid. Fantastic.
Next one is Harry Kane is set to lead a shirt presentation tribute to Christian Eriksen before tomorrow's semi-final, England against Denmark at Wembley at Euro 2020, which is just a really nice touch, isn't it?
That is nice. That is good. And look, we all know that Kane obviously was very close to Eriksen when they were at Tottenham. They had a great relationship on the pitch. So I'm sure Kane will be the first person to want to do this kind of thing for Christian. And I'm also reading now that UEFA are going to invite Eriksen to the final.
Not to the semi-final?
Apparently not.
Not enough tickets for the semi-final.
No, not enough. Maybe he's still resting for the semi-final, but him and his family are going to be invited to the final and to watch the game. And so it'll be very special, I guess, if Denmark make it there and he's watching on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to
That would be what a story that would be. I know, obviously, I want England to win and get through, which first and foremost, but what a story that would be if Eriksen's watching on as Denmark playing a final in the Euros.
Look, I'm not going to lie, I do hope he's watching England.
Of course.
He's watching England. But look, let's move on because there was a couple of Harry Kane quotes on TalkSport last night. He was kind of responding to Fabio Paratici's comments and talking a bit about Nuno as well. So he said on the praise from Paratici, he said, to get praise from big people in football is great. It gives you confidence. It gives you motivation. And then on Nuno Espirito Santo, he said, whenever a new manager comes in, there is always excitement around the club. I have not been there or not had any contact with him. I'm away with England now and my focus is here. But he does say afterwards, I'm sure he'll have a nice long conversation with him.
Doesn't sound like a guy desperate to leave.
Is that a conversation about leaving, or is that a conversation about what?
Yeah, look, I'm sure it's going to be a conversation. I don't think it'll be straight up about leaving, but definitely that obviously going to come up that he wants a new challenge, and it's no secret that Harry Kane has been at Tottenham for so long. He's given so much that he wants a new challenge. He wants to be challenging for top honours, which won't be possible next season. But I think Nuno will try his best to convince him. The way he was talking about Paratici was positive, and I do think. I do think it's still at this point still quite unlikely he does leave, but I guess it depends on two things. It depends how hard Harry Kane pushes, and it depends how how high Man City are willing to go. So there's a few moving factors, but at least Kane, he didn't shy away from the questions, which is good. He kind of addressed them. He was, saying how he wants to have conversations with them when they get back.
He's not
and
really
stuff
one
like
to
that.
shy away from questions, though, is he, Kane?
Well, he could have easily said, "Look, I'm here at the Euros. I don't want to talk about it." He could have easily said that, but he didn't say that. So I guess that's positive in that sense. And he also said like, winning for my country has always been more important than winning for my club and stuff like that. And does a comment like that tell you that maybe he might be staying one more year? Is that like hinting at that? Maybe it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Very hard to say.
But I think I don't know. I still at the moment I think he wants to leave, but I think we could probably be convinced to give us another year. I don't think he's going to force a move out, and I think it's probably too difficult right now.
Look, like I keep saying, I think it makes most sense that he does go next summer.
Yeah.
Not that he does. Like I want him to go, but I think it makes sense that he will go next summer.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. But look, that is your Tottenham update today. We have a watch along this evening for the first semi-final of Italy against Spain, and then it's back live on location tomorrow. The beers will be flowing. Tickets are sold out for tomorrow night, but looking forward to seeing all of you guys that did get tickets there tomorrow. It's going to be a great night. Let's hope England get to the final of the Euros, which will be the first time England can get to a final. Well, not can, but the first time, if we do get to that final, it'll be the first time we get to a final in our lifetime.
Wow.
Since 1966.
Incredible. I can't believe we're in this position for the first time. I haven't yet to witness it in my lifetime, but let's see if we can get over the line, because I've been so many false dawns, haven't there, of England? But let's hopefully
in 2018.
Yeah, exactly. So
1996.
Let's just hope this ain't another one.
Italia 90, all of them. Mm-hmm. So look,
I wasn't born then.
Yeah, you weren't born then, but I was at the ripe age of 1 year old. So there you have it. But that is our Tottenham update. Let me know if you have any thoughts regarding any of the topics we spoke about in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.